Welcome to Psych with Sigmund, the podcast where we delve into the fascinating world of psychology and explore the intricacies of the human mind. I'm your host, Sigmund, and today we're going to talk about a concept that's both intriguing and unsettling: unconscious bias. So, what is unconscious bias? Simply put, it refers to the automatic, unintentional stereotypes or prejudices that affect our judgments and decisions. These biases operate beneath our conscious awareness, influencing how we perceive and interact with others. It's essential to understand unconscious bias because it can have a profound impact on our relationships, workplaces, and communities. The concept of unconscious bias has its roots in social psychology, dating back to the 1970s and 1980s. Researchers like Masarin Banaji and Anthony Greenwald developed the implicit association test, IAT, which measures the strength of automatic associations between concepts. This test has been widely used to study unconscious bias and has revealed that many people hold biases they're not aware of. One notable example is the shooter bias study, where participants were shown images of white and black men holding either a gun or a neutral object. The results showed that participants were more likely to mistakenly identify a black man holding a neutral object as a threat than a white man in the same situation. This study highlights how unconscious bias can lead to errors in judgment and decision-making. Theoretical background: unconscious bias is explained by several major psychological theories, including cognitive dissonance, social identity theory, and attribution theory. Cognitive dissonance suggests that people tend to reduce discomfort or tension caused by conflicting ideas or values. Social identity theory proposes that we derive a sense of belonging and self-esteem from the groups we belong to, which can lead to biases against outgroups. Attribution theory explains how we tend to attribute causes to events or behaviors, often relying on mental shortcuts or stereotypes. Research and evidence: numerous studies have demonstrated the prevalence and impact of unconscious bias in various domains, including employment, education, healthcare, and law enforcement. For instance, a study found that resumes with traditionally African American sounding names were less likely to receive callbacks than those with traditionally white sounding names, even when qualifications were identical. Another significant finding is the stereotype threat phenomenon, where individuals from stigmatized groups perform worse on tasks when they're reminded of negative stereotypes about their group. This effect can be mitigated by interventions that reduce stereotype threat, such as providing positive role models or emphasizing the value of diversity. Real-world applications: understanding unconscious bias is crucial for creating a more inclusive and equitable society. By recognizing the existence of these biases, we can take steps to overcome them. For instance, organizations can implement blind hiring practices, where identifying information is removed from resumes, or use diversity training programs to raise awareness about unconscious bias. As individuals, we can engage in self-reflection, seeking out diverse perspectives and experiences to broaden our understanding of the world. We can also practice mindfulness and cognitive behavioral therapy (CBT) techniques to become more aware of our automatic thoughts and feelings, allowing us to challenge and reframe biased assumptions. Therapeutically, addressing unconscious bias can involve techniques like exposure therapy, where individuals are gradually exposed to stimuli that trigger biased responses. This can help reduce anxiety and increase tolerance for diversity. Conclusion: in conclusion, unconscious bias is a pervasive phenomenon that affects us all, often outside of our conscious awareness. By understanding the theoretical background, research evidence, and real-world applications of this concept, we can take steps towards creating a more inclusive and equitable society. As Masarin Banaji said, the first step to addressing bias is to acknowledge its existence. Acknowledging and working with our biases, rather than trying to suppress or deny them, is essential for personal growth and social change. It requires effort, self-reflection, and a willingness to challenge our assumptions. By doing so, we can cultivate a more compassionate and inclusive environment where everyone has an equal opportunity to thrive. Remember to like, share, and subscribe, and until next time, may your ego find balance between pleasure and reality.